Welcome back to the channel Wisdom of Stoicism. Have you ever walked away from a conversation, replaying it over and over in your head, thinking, I should have said this, I should have done that? Maybe it was a rude comment from a stranger, a disrespectful remark from a coworker, or even an insult from someone you thought was a friend. In that moment, you froze. You didn't know what to say, and later it felt like they had won, like they got the best of you. But what if you could respond in a way that stops them cold? What if you could say just one thing that would make them regret ever disrespecting you, without losing your cool, without raising your voice, and without stepping out of character? You see, the ancient Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, faced insults and disrespect too. But they mastered the art of calm, powerful responses that left a lasting impact. Today, I'm going to share with you exactly what to say when someone disrespects you. Not emotional outbursts, not petty comebacks, but sharp, thoughtful phrases inspired by Stoic philosophy, words that will not only defend your dignity but will leave the other person thinking twice before ever crossing that line again. And here's the best part. These responses don't just make you look strong, they are strength. Because true power isn't about fighting fire with fire. It's about mastering your emotions, controlling the moment, and standing firm with quiet confidence. So stay with me until the end, because these lessons aren't just about handling disrespect. They're about becoming the kind of person who commands respect without even trying. Let's begin. Understanding disrespect through Stoicism. Let's begin by talking about what disrespect really is. At its core, disrespect is simply when someone disregards your feelings, your space, or your values. It's the moment when someone crosses a boundary, whether it's in the workplace, in a social setting, or even within your own family. But here's the key. According to Stoic philosophy, disrespect isn't something we should take personally. Let me explain why. Stoicism teaches us that the way people behave is a direct reflection of their own internal world, not yours. Think about it for a moment. When someone is rude or dismissive, it often says more about their own struggles, their insecurities, or their fears than it does about you. Their actions are born out of their own emotional state, not because you deserve to be treated poorly. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This quote cuts right to the heart of how we should view disrespect. Instead of feeling personally attacked, a Stoic would ask, what can I learn from this situation? How can I maintain my peace in the face of this disrespect? You see, Stoicism is all about maintaining control over what you can control, your own mind and reactions, and letting go of what you can't. The person who disrespects you, they're not your concern. Your response is, and that's where your power lies. Imagine for a second that you're in a conversation where someone insults you. Most people might feel the sting immediately, and their first instinct is to fight back. But, according to Stoic philosophy, reacting with anger or frustration gives away your power. Instead, what if you could take a step back, look at the situation for what it truly is, and respond in a way that reflects your inner strength? Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor and Stoic, put it this way: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The idea here is simple. You can't control how others treat you, but you have complete control over how you respond. And here's the powerful part. When you don't react emotionally to disrespect, you take away the power of the person who is trying to provoke you. Instead of being swept up in their negativity, you stay calm, composed, and unshaken. That's where true strength lies. And let's be clear, this doesn't mean you should let people walk all over you. It doesn't mean you should tolerate harmful behavior. No, Stoicism teaches us to set boundaries in a respectful, controlled way. But the key is in how you do it. Responding with rage or frustration doesn't solve anything. Responding with calm and clarity, on the other hand, leaves a much stronger impression and protects your inner peace. So, when someone disrespects you, remember, it's not about them. It's about how you respond. If you take their disrespect personally, you've already lost. But if you respond with wisdom, grace, and emotional control, you not only protect yourself, You also show them that their words and actions have no power over you. That's the Stoic approach. That's the path to peace. 5 Stoic phrases that silence disrespect. Alright, let's dive into the heart of today's video. How to silence disrespect with just a few words. Today, we're going to look at 5 powerful Stoic phrases that you can use in these situations. Phrases that don't just stop the disrespect, but actually make the other person regret ever dishing it out. These are words of wisdom from some of the greatest philosophers in history. But don't worry. I'm breaking them down in simple, everyday language. And trust me, these words have power. They can change everything about how you respond to rudeness and disrespect. Ready? Let's begin. 1. Are you speaking from a place of understanding or just emotion? This first phrase is simple but effective. When someone disrespects you, they're often acting out of anger, frustration, or insecurity. They're not thinking clearly. So this question cuts right to the core of it. By asking, "Are you speaking from a place of understanding or just emotion?" you're gently forcing them to stop and think. What happens when you say this? The person is no longer in attack mode, they're forced to reflect. The words make them pause, question their own actions, and, in most cases, they'll realize they're just reacting without thinking. This Stoic response is powerful because it doesn't escalate the situation. Instead of throwing fuel on the fire, you're redirecting their energy towards self-awareness. And here's the best part. It's not aggressive. You're not yelling back. You're simply asking a question that's impossible to ignore. 2. Interesting perspective. Is there a reason you feel the need to say that? Here's another one. Interesting perspective. Is there a reason you feel the need to say that? Now, this one is almost like giving the person an out. It acknowledges their opinion, but it doesn't accept their disrespect. It's calm, but it also puts the responsibility back on them. Why does this work? Because it shows that you're not bothered by their comment. You're not getting defensive or emotional. Instead, you're treating them like they just made a casual observation, and you're simply asking why they said what they did. This Stoic approach comes from understanding that people who disrespect others often don't think through the impact of their words. By responding like this, you show that you're in control of your emotions. They, on the other hand, are the ones who have to justify their actions. It's disarming. It makes them rethink what they've said, especially when you stay calm and collected. 3. I'm choosing not to be offended. You're entitled to your opinion. This phrase is a game changer. Let me say it again. I'm choosing not to be offended. You're entitled to your opinion. This is one of the most powerful Stoic responses you can have, and here's why. In Stoicism, we believe that we have control over our reactions, not over what happens to us. Someone can say whatever they want, but how we react is entirely up to us. When you say, "I'm choosing not to be offended," you're taking control of the situation right away. You're saying, "I refuse to let this get under my skin." And that's exactly what Stoicism teaches us. You don't have to internalize every insult or rude comment. You're better than that. The second part, you're entitled to your opinion, is a reminder that people are entitled to think what they want, but that doesn't mean you have to agree with them or give their opinion any power over you. This is a calm and dignified way of letting them know their words don't hold any weight in your life. 4. I see you're having a difficult day. I hope it gets better. Now, this one is a little different. Comes from a place of compassion. When someone disrespects you, especially in a harsh or rude way, it's often a reflection of their own struggles. Maybe they're frustrated, maybe they're having a bad day, or maybe they feel insecure. So instead of meeting their anger with more anger, you can say, "I see you're having a difficult day. I hope it gets better." It's disarming because you're showing empathy without excusing their behavior. You're not condoning what they said, but you're acknowledging that their attitude might be coming from somewhere deeper. This response forces them to pause. It shows that you're not reacting with hostility. You're offering compassion. And in doing so, you're showing that you're the bigger person, the one who doesn't need to stoop down to their level. 5. Silence with a steady gaze. Sometimes words aren't even necessary. Silence, paired with a calm, steady gaze, can speak volumes. This is one of the most powerful tools in the Stoic arsenal. When someone disrespects you, and you respond with silence, you're showing them that their words don't affect you. But it's not just about saying nothing. The key is in how you do it. You hold eye contact. You show no fear. You stand firm in your resolve. You're saying, I am not disturbed by your words. I am calm, and I will not let you control my emotions. This response often leaves people feeling uncomfortable because it disrupts their expectations. They were expecting you to get angry or defensive, but instead, you stay cool and composed. That silence speaks louder than any words could. These 5 Stoic phrases are more than just clever comebacks. They're tools for staying in control. They're ways to protect your peace and to ensure that others know you're not someone to mess with. But more importantly, they're reminders that your emotional state should never be dictated by the rudeness of others. You can choose how to react. You can choose to remain calm, confident, and unaffected by negativity. And in doing so, you command respect, not through anger or retaliation, but through wisdom and self-control. Why these responses work. When someone disrespects you, it's natural to feel anger or frustration. But here's the secret. How you respond is more important than what they say. In this segment, we're going to dive into why the Stoic responses we just talked about are so effective. These simple, calm responses work because they don't give the other person the reaction they want. Instead of getting defensive or upset, you remain in control. And that shift in power can make all the difference. First, let's talk about the psychological impact of your response. When someone disrespects you, they often want to provoke a reaction, whether it's anger, embarrassment, or discomfort. But when you respond calmly, it throws them off. They're expecting you to get upset or argue back. But when you don't, they're left unsure of how to react. This discomfort on their part is powerful. It makes them question their own behavior. They might start wondering why their insult didn't bother you, which can cause them to reflect on their actions and feel regret. Stoic philosophy teaches us that we should not be ruled by our emotions. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you respond with calmness, you're showing that you're in control of your mind and emotions. You're not letting someone else's rudeness dictate how you feel, and that's incredibly powerful. The person who tried to provoke you with disrespect now sees that you can't be easily shaken, and that shifts the power dynamic in your favor. Let's think about the phrase we talked about earlier. Are you speaking from a place of understanding or just emotion? This simple question isn't an attack, but it forces the person to stop and think. It makes them evaluate whether they're being rational or simply reacting emotionally. When someone is acting out of anger or frustration, they rarely stop to think about the impact of their words. But your response gives them a moment of pause, and that's all it takes to plant doubt in their mind. Another powerful Stoic response was, "I'm choosing not to be offended. You're entitled to your opinion." This doesn't just show them that you're not affected. It also shows them that you value your peace more than their disrespect. You're not giving them the satisfaction of seeing you upset. Instead, you're maintaining your dignity and your inner calm. By doing this, you demonstrate that your emotional well-being is something you control, not them. And when people see that you're not easily swayed by negativity, they start to respect you more. Silence, as we discussed, can also be a powerful weapon. Sometimes saying nothing at all speaks volumes. When you maintain eye contact and stay calm in the face of disrespect, you're showing them that their words don't matter. You're choosing not to engage, not because you don't have a response, but because their negativity isn't worth your time. And this silence often leaves them feeling uncomfortable, forcing them to reconsider their actions. They realize that they didn't get the reaction they were hoping for, and that is a win for you. These Stoic responses work because they take the power away from the person who's trying to disrespect you. Instead of reacting emotionally, you remain steady and composed. And in doing so, you maintain control over the situation. By not giving them the reaction they expect, you not only preserve your peace but also leave them to deal with the consequences of their own actions. This is the heart of Stoic wisdom. We can't control what others do, but we can always control how we respond. So, the next time someone disrespects you, remember, your calmness is your strength, and that strength, rooted in Stoic philosophy, will make them regret their words long after the situation has passed. Handling persistent disrespect. Now, let's talk about what happens when the disrespect keeps coming. You've used your Stoic phrases, you've stayed calm, but some people just don't know when to stop. So what do you do when someone is persistent, rude, or continuously crosses your boundaries? Well, that's where your Stoic wisdom really kicks in. First, understand that you have the power to set boundaries. Stoicism teaches us that we control what we can, mainly our own actions and responses. When someone disrespects you over and over again, it's not a sign of weakness to stand your ground. In fact, it's a sign of strength. You can calmly, but firmly, tell them, I value respectful conversations, and if you're not willing to have one, I'll have to remove myself from this situation. This might sound direct, but the beauty of Stoicism is that it's about maintaining your peace without unnecessary drama. If someone can't respect you, the best thing you can do is walk away with dignity. You see, Stoics understand that not every battle is worth fighting, and sometimes the greatest power comes from stepping away. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, often said that we should walk away from people who refuse to act with virtue. The more you stand your ground in a calm, composed manner, the more respect you command. And if they continue to be rude, well, now you know your boundaries and you're confident enough to enforce them. It's also important to remember that you can't control others. If someone is determined to disrespect you, you can't change that. But what you can do, what the Stoics teach us, is to control how you react. You have the power to choose your response. No one can take that away from you. And with that power, you can decide whether or not to engage in their negativity. Let's take a moment to reflect on a key Stoic lesson. You cannot control others, only your own actions and thoughts. This is important because when people disrespect you, it's easy to get caught up in their chaos. But the Stoic way is different. You can recognize their actions without letting them affect your inner peace. You decide whether their words or actions are worth your energy or if it's better to walk away. Sometimes, it's also important to remember that not everyone who disrespects you is doing it intentionally. Maybe they're having a tough day, or maybe they're struggling with their own emotions. Stoicism teaches us empathy, to consider what might be going on in their lives before reacting. But don't confuse empathy with allowing bad behavior. You can still set boundaries while understanding that they may be acting out of pain or frustration. At the end of the day, the Stoic mindset is about strength through control. When you stay calm, when you set clear boundaries, and when you choose to walk away with dignity, you're not only protecting yourself from negativity, you're also preserving your peace and your self-respect. So, remember this, you don't need to argue or get upset to make a point. Your silence, your composure, and your ability to stand firm without getting sucked into drama will speak louder than any words ever could. If you've ever felt disrespected and didn't know how to respond, now you have the tools to handle it with grace and confidence. Stoicism teaches us that how we react to others' behavior says more about us than it does about them. So, next time someone tries to bring you down, remember these phrases and strategies. Keep your composure and let your actions speak louder than their words. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever been disrespected in a way that left you speechless? How did you handle it, and what would you do differently now that you have these Stoic tools? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear your stories. And if this video helped you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. This way, you'll never miss more videos on how to live a calm, controlled, and powerful life. You deserve to be in control of your emotions, no matter what anyone throws your way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.